Yet again, we have an overdue training log. All right, so this is last Wednesday. Today's Monday, so, I mean, it's not, whatever. You get the point. 235, kneeling pin press, top of the nose, eye level, whatever. I finally hit a plateau on these, so this is 235. This is the first set of 5. Remember, I was doing 2 sets of 5. Next one, I only managed 4 reps. So finally plateau. As an update to the training, because I'm not going to put a car talk in this one, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start incorporating the Olympic lifts back into my training. So it's basically Texas method, but just with the Olympic lifts put into it. So there'll be a day of volume for Olympic lifts, which is like 8 sets of 2 on snatch and 15 singles on clean and jerk. And then there's a PR day for those. And I'll actually be front squatting on the PR day. So 3 days of squats. And by the way, this is bench sets with 270, 8, 7, 6. You can find it in practical programming. It's Texas method adapted for Olympic lifting. So they do that for 2 days. And then there's a day of volume press and volume squat, and then a day of intensity press, squat, deadlift. Basically, I run the same thing. I just break the other lifts onto their own days. So I lift every day. Today, I just did volume for press. Tomorrow will be volume for both the Olympic lifts. Wednesday, volume for squat. Thursday, intensity press. Friday, intensity Olympic lifts and front squat. Saturday, intensity squat. Sunday, deadlift. I'm also going to strict press on the deadlift days. So I'm overpressing 3 times a week instead of 4 now. So just took the pin pressing out. If you've been on the channel for a minute now, I said I started a new job. It's more physically demanding. Recovering for the Olympic lifts didn't really feel possible at first. I probably adapted enough that it'll be fine now. And I just want to get back into it. I never wanted to get away from it in the first place. It was just the demands of the job forced it to be that way. But I should be fine at this point. I think I've pretty much adapted to it. Been here for 3 months. I won't be doing the RDLs anymore either. So this was the last session of those for a while. 2 sets of 10 with 450. Excuse me. For the squat too, I'm going to add some more volume in, and you're going to see why when we get to my squat session here, but we got to get to the freaking overhead press session first. If you follow me on Instagram, you already saw it, but oh man, my brain was working slow that day. So I work up, like I said, I was going to attempt for the 300, and then I get 285, so a new PR. Then I go 300. 285 was super easy. Now, I have the brain fart of a lifetime, and I load the bar up to 310, make 2 attempts at it. First one just crushes me. Second one is very, very close. You'll see that here. All right, so we're getting into the singles now. So there's 265. This is the first of what was going to be 5 singles. So 265 for 1 single, 275 for 2 singles, 285 for 300. Now, my confidence was, what? How did I cut that early? Well, whatever. Anyway, so there's the second one. That one moved a lot better than the first one. Now I throw 285 on. That moved better than both the 275. So I'm real happy. Now here's 310. This is the second attempt. I think this is 300. And you'll see I'm going to hit it, but I knew that I was going to black out, so I bail. Then I realized, hey, that's 310. I go down to 300, which I thought was 290, and then I go, wait, the fuck? So I drop back down 275, make another attempt at 300, but I'm moving the ranges, so I can't count that. That's a push press. Very, very frustrating day with a lot of brain farts. Can't believe I did that. I will hit 300 or more on Thursday. Mark my words. All right, this is Saturday. It's supposed to be 5 singles with 535. I hit the first single. It's a fucking grind, and I fail the second. So I decide I'm going to drop down to 507. This will be a 1 pound PR to my 5 rep max. And I'm going to go for a 5 rep max. And I know it's probably not there. The issue with squat is I'm not getting enough volume in. The 5 singles and the 3 sets of 5 is not enough volume on squats for me when I've done squatting every day to hit my biggest squats. So I need to add more volume in my volume session. Then I'll have the front squat session and then the intense. So 3 sessions, more volume, I think will be a lot better. So I only get 4 here. And I've done 510 for 4 in a belt and no sleeves. So it's not a PR. But I'm actually fairly happy with it. I'm going to do 5 rep maxes from now on, by the way. I'm going to attempt this again on next Saturday. The reason I'm happy with this is because, the session was a failure. I wasn't going to do 4 more singles with 535 after I failed the second. So I threw something on the bar that took some freaking cojones to hit. And you know what? I can't be mad at that. Even though I didn't get what I want, I'm fine, by the way. I'm just laying on the ground in agony because it was very fucking hard. It took some freaking cojones. I can't be mad at that. Now I'm going to do clean deadlifts on my deadlift day to kind of ingrain this kind of movement for the Olympic lifts where you get your knees out over the bar, shoulders over the bar, knees over the bar. Knees go back, shoulders stay over the bar. I think it'll help. And for all the shit that I've talked about with my deadlift, this is 525 for 5 on a clean deadlift, which is harder. And you get the shrug at the top. And my back is completely straight. So if I actually deadlift, I don't know what I can do for 5. I actually might be at my strongest again. So the thing that pissed me off here is the bar kept drifting way far out over the middle of my foot. So that was making it very difficult. This is the strict pressing, 220. I can't keep making 5-pound jumps with this. I only did 8 sets of 2 instead of 10, which was fine. At 4, I decided that would be the case. So these are the last 4 sets. Yeah, but the deadlift, again, I think that the clean deadlift will really help. A lot of people don't see benefit in it. I just think that for myself, getting that movement pattern down, it will help a lot. And it won't be quite as taxing because I'm not moving as much weight as I could. But we're actually really happy with doing that on a clean deadlift. So all the shit that I've been talking, and then we get that. All right, this is today. Just finished the session, 232.5, 5 sets of 5 overhead press. Okay, I'm realizing now I forgot to mention what I'm going to do for more volume on squat. Maybe 10 sets of 3, maybe 5 sets of 5. If it's 10 sets of 3, then I'll go up to 475 and do 10 sets of 3. If I'm going to drop down to 5 sets of 5, I'm going to drop down to like 445, 445, 440, somewhere in that range, 450. I think I'm leaning more toward 10 sets of 3 because it's the heavier weight that I can then do. And I can actually knock that out a little bit faster than 5 sets of, I can do 10 sets of 3 in like 35 minutes. And for me, the reason I do 1 lift a day is to save as much time as possible. So, but yeah, I just need more volume on the squat. I can't do 1 day of volume and 1 day of intensity and still make gains without that volume day being like absolutely crazy. I probably need to do more than 5 sets of 5. So I could feel that my squat was starting to betray me. And that's just adaptation. I'm not sure that this is most people, but if you're somebody that's experimented with squat every day as heavily as I have, and you've accustomed yourself to hitting heavy weights so frequently, it's really hard to progress with just 1 volume day and 1 intensity day. Because you've even though it's more volume on that day than you've been hitting, you've cut your overall weekly volume by a significant amount. Anyway, I'll be back before Friday, hopefully.